welcome to another Two Network match report with me, Adam. It's finished at Vicarage Road. It's finished Watford 1, Newcastle United 1. It was going so well up until that last 10 minutes when Decore completely lost his markers, whether it was Diarmi at first and then Shelvey, but it's cost us in the end. But Dubravka, I thought, had a really solid game. Watford were always going to be one of those mixed bags. Like we saw that at St James's Park when we beat them 1-0. We always knew that they could, play a team that could beat, say, one of the big six, one of the top six, or they could be absolutely dreadful that we've seen in recent times. I think they got a really good win against West Ham, but then their form has been up and down, very much like Newcastle. So it was really, whether it was going to be win, lose or draw today, I don't think I could be surprised either way. I think a draw is probably a fair result on reflection if we take the whole game into context. I thought that Rondon was absolutely immense today, and he took his goal absolutely superbly when really the first half an hour we had really struggled with getting any possession, getting passes together, creating chances, and Watford were on top, and it didn't look like we were going to find a way in there. We had Hayden and Diarmi in the centre. We had the back five with Federico Fernandez, Lascelles and Dummett. Fernandez went off at half time because of an injury. This is the second time in the last sort of month he's got an injury at half time and had to be pulled off. Shea came on in his place. But I thought Isaac's success was one of these players who, he might not be the most naturally talented footballer, but he's such a handful. He's brute strength. He's got a bit of pace. He's just a tricky customer. He's a difficult player to play against, and he really gave us a torrid time, certainly down the right hand side for most of the afternoon. But after that first opening half an hour of Watford, having the odd chance here and there, and Dubravka just having to be alert and commanding his box, which he does very well, of course. And on the break, Newcastle away were absolutely fantastic, and there was a move down the left-hand side, which eventually found its way to Richie, who had pushed really forward. And one of the things that we noticed against Fulham is that Richie was far too deep and wasn't able to get the crosses into Rondon that he craves. Obviously Liverpool was a bit of a write-off in the end, but what we needed to do was get our wing-backs, Richie and Yedlin, sort of higher up the pitch into the final third to whip in balls for Salomon Rondon. And that's exactly what Richie did. He flighted this wonderful ball to the back post, and Rondon has to basically, he has no right to get that ball. He has to beat a couple of men just to get in the position to head it, and he powers it past the goalkeeper. It's another away goal for Salomon Rondon. He scored away at Everton, he scored away at at Huddersfield, and he's becoming a bit of a battering ram. He now has in total, in all competitions, he's now got as many goals as Dwight Gale managed in all competitions last year in less than half the games. Great start, and his hold-up play, we really saw what he could bring with holding up, whereas Hoslu isn't as good as that, and we're near as good as that. And we were just against Liverpool, kicking the ball out, and it was just coming straight back at us. But with Rondon, we were able to win territory and try and gain some, and we had like little flurries of sort of better spells in their final third. So basically towards the end of each half, really. I mean, we had a couple of chances there at the back end of the half where we looked quite dangerous once sort of Shelvey was on. But after the Rondon goal, there was another opportunity almost immediately where it came to Perez. Wasn't out fully wide, but he was sort of deep on the edge of the box, and he just flighted a ball in, a curled ball. And Rondon finished with aplomb. It was an absolutely beautiful finish, but it was offside, and I don't think there was too many complaints from the Newcastle players. So that was just really looking, I think, a second, given how shaky they are, and they looked shaky at the back, albeit we didn't really bother them too much throughout the whole course of the game. But when we did have possession, I felt we did ask a lot of questions and we got a lot more shots off than we have done in sort of previous games. Only the 2 on target, but 8 on shots, 8 shots away from home, not bad. Ultimately, they waste a lot of it, of their opportunities, their chances. They didn't really test Dubravka, and actually their goal, I mean, it was a great cross from Delafeu from the right hand side. I mean, this is 82nd minute we're talking about. This is when Newcastle were in kind of siege mode and we were heading everything away, and Atsu was doing some good things on the break, you know, just as an outlet. Richie had a much better game today. Perez probably had a bit more of a frustrating one. I thought Hayden was canny, just to sort of, you know, chasing down the ball when we're out of possession. But for me, Dummett was the best player on the park for us. I thought he was winning everything in the air. He was marshalling some very tricky wingers. And I thought just his all-round play was pretty good. So I'll give my man of the match to Paul Dummett today. But we're always going to have to weather the storm the second half. We're always going to have to do that. It's just, I wish we'd be able to hold on, because actually the goal itself, yes, it was a great cross from Delafeu, as I've mentioned, but it was almost an error, because Decore is sort of floating. He was kind of on Diarmi at the start of the move, and then he runs away from Diarmi onto kind of Shelvey, and Shelvey clocks him, but isn't alert to the attacking threat. The cross comes in from Delafeu, who has got quality on his day, and by the time Decore has met it, he's completely unmarked. I mean, Shea's in and around, but it's not his man, and he's got the leap and start, and he's basically just a precise header into the top corner. Dubravka can't do anything about that, and everyone, I mean, the whole Newcastle defence was having a blasted Shelvey for not chasing back. I don't know if it was his man, whether it was originally Diarmi's man, but in the second phase, Shelvey needs to be picking him up and doesn't need to be losing him there. So that was disappointing, even though it was absolutely brilliant to see Shelvey back on the pitch. And Rondon not lasted the whole 90 minutes as well. And actually with Rondon, looking at his goal, looking at the disallowed goal as well, would Rondon have been as sharp as he was today? And he was really sharp today. I thought we were playing a lot of long balls over the top for him to run onto, almost like what we used to do for Dwight Gale. So it wasn't like we were just trying to get balls up to his chest and his feet. We're actually trying to play more progressively and more proactively, and with Rondon facing the goal. And whether that was a deliberate tactic, I'm not sure. Whether that's just how the game fell with Watford's defenders, but it was excellent, and it showed that, you know, even though he's a target man, and yes, he's not the fastest, he is still mobile, Rondon, and he can cause problems. And a couple of times Ben Foster in goal had to sweep up. He had to sweep up on the edge of his box because we'd got in between the lines, between defence and goalkeeper. So I was really impressed with how we were playing with Rondon. It was different to what I'd seen. It was kind of starting to get a bit more comfortable with how we can play with him and try new things. And I think that's going to be really, really important to keep other teams guessing and keep the opposition from not just pegging us down as a one-trick pony, which with a limited squad we sort of have been, and we are. But disappointing the way that we conceded, given how well we defended for the rest of the game. But if you'd asked me at the start of the game, would you take a 1-1 away to Watford after that 4-0 drubbing? Hell yes. Hell yes, I'd take it. Because again, what you don't want to do after one defeat, a heavy defeat, what you want to do immediately is stop the rot. And we did that today. We played well. Richie had a long-range shot. There was a couple of incidents where, you know, things might have happened from crosses, or just Perez got in the box a couple of times. Had we just found it half a yard somewhere and released a shot, you know, we could have gone away with more. But I do think the draw was a fair reflection of the game and how it went in the end. So credit to Watford. They were always going to be a tough team at their end. To get 4 points out of 6 of a team who are sort of established in mid-table, I think we have to be accepting that. We have to say that that's where we are. And we've got Man United at home next, which I believe, you know, I think the atmosphere is going to be fantastic and needs to be. You saw what happened last season against Manchester United. The atmosphere was absolutely electric. And we need it to be again. And can we get a result? They're resurgent, Man United, and that's going to be a big ask. But on our day, if we can play and defend well and nick a goal on the break, we can beat anybody at home. We really can. The defence is solid, and it proved it once again today. It was a midfield defensive error that led to the goal today. So that's disappointing, but I can't grumble too much. And yeah, Salomon Rondon would not have been as fresh as we needed him to be today had he started at Anfield. This was the big game. This was what it was. And I think without Rondon getting a rest, we'd probably lose today. I honestly think we lose today because he comes off a lot sooner and suddenly we've got nothing to aim at up front because we just don't have that outlet when he's not on the pitch. So I'll take that point at Vicarage Road. Hope you've liked the podcast and the video. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, like it and share. Tell all your friends if you've enjoyed the video as well. We're on Facebook at the 2 Network 1892 and on Twitter at the 2 Network as well. We'll see after the Man United game. It's going to be a huge one, but I'll probably take a pretty impressive draw down near the capital, long way home, but we've at least got something to cheer about. Thanks very much, and bye-bye.